Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be a question time, and it's going to be some questions that you've always wanted to ask a vegan. So getting their opinion on their kind of lifestyle and yeah, just my kind of outlook on veganism and how I got to where I am today. So if you do enjoy this video, please do hit that like button and subscribe down below. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video.
Why did you become vegan?
So I actually became vegan, how many years ago now? 2 and a bit years ago. For me it was quite like a smooth transition because when I was about 14 in high school I became vegetarian. I was vegetarian for a couple of years before I just kind of decided that I wanted to become vegan, and as I said, that was over 2 years ago now. And the reason I became vegan was I had like got so used to being vegetarian and everything. I was actually in Indonesia and I was kind of like, I wonder if it was kind of like an experiment for myself to see if I would be able to become vegan, if I would be able to do that transition, because obviously vegetarian you can still eat dairy and that kind of thing. And I wanted to see if it would affect like my energy levels and my skin and that kind of thing, because I'd read that the effects of dairy on your skin. So that's when I was like, I'll just do it as an experiment, I'll just try it out, see how I feel. And yeah, 2 years on, I'm still doing it, and I honestly, even from going vegetarian to vegan, I noticed energy levels were so much higher. I had so much energy, I felt really good for it, especially in the first couple of weeks. And yeah, that's kind of the reason. I don't like the taste of meat, so that's never really been an issue for me. And as I said, I was vegetarian since I was 14, so it's kind of always been something that I've wanted to do, and yeah.
What is the difference between a vegan, vegetarian and a plant-based diet?
So I've kind of touched on that in the first question a little bit, but so start with a vegetarian. So a vegetarian, they don't eat like meats or fish, but they do eat dairy, so they'll eat like eggs and yogurt and milk and that kind of thing. Then there's a pescatarian, which I said I was when I was about 14, 15, so I still ate fish. And they still eat dairy as well. And then vegan, they don't eat any animal products, and they also try where possible to not buy things like leather, and try and not really get any kind of products that are tested on animals, that kind of thing, like beauty products even. Yeah, they always try and make sure everything is cruelty free. So that's what I am. So where possible, there's no perfect vegan, but where possible I do try and ensure that I'm not buying something that's tested on animals, but everything is a lot easier now. It's labeled, and actually it tends to be food wise, it's very clear and it says vegan. It's normally like vegan V logo kind of thing. And then with like fragrances, with beauty products, it has this happy bunny on the back of it that's like, it's like a happy bunny animation thing that's like bounding, and that indicates that it is cruelty free, and it might even say test on animals, that kind of thing. But yeah, you just get used to reading labels and that sort of thing, and you get used to just looking at it and knowing what is vegan, and it doesn't really seem that big a deal. And the last one was plant-based. So plant-based means that food-wise, they don't eat anything from an animal, so they don't eat dairy, they don't eat meat, they don't eat fish, but they are at the stage where they're looking at, say, like beauty products or that kind of thing, or they're not like too bothered about the leather side of stuff and things that are derived from an animal that is outside of the food category. But yeah, everyone's at different stages, and I feel like any little minor changes is still a good thing. And there's not the perfect vegan, you know, it's just steps towards or swapping out meat products for meat-free products, you know. There's all little changes that you can make. It's not about having the overall perfect lifestyle, do you know what I mean?
This is probably the most common question vegans get. Where do you get your protein?
This is such like a vegan stereotype, if you could call it. Like, I have had this asked to me before, like, where do you get protein from, like, if you're not eating, because people just think meat, that's where you get your protein from, or fish. And that's a lot a lot of the time that's why people are pescatarian or vegetarian, is because they think that they need the dairy to get the protein, or they need the fish to have the protein. And I, as a 14-year-old, thought that I needed fish to have the protein, and to be a swimmer and be an athlete I needed to have that in my diet. How wrong was I? On a daily basis, I mean, I have beans. Beans have, depends on what beans you get, but some of them have
like 15 to 25 grams of protein per 100 grams, so they're a great protein source.
There's any kind of lentils, any seeds. Oats have protein in them. I personally have protein powder as well, which you don't need to have, but it's good to have there as an option if you do want to get a little bit more extra protein in a day. Yeah, you don't need nearly as much as you think. So unless you're wanting to like gain a lot of muscle, then you do need to up your protein intake, but it is very easy to get it from plant sources. A lot of vegetables are high in protein, especially green veg. But yeah, lentils, kidney beans, black beans, butter beans, tofu, seitan, don't know how people pronounce it. All of these things are kind of regulars in our food shop. If you do want to see like a food haul, kind of a normal food shop that we do every week, do let me know in the comments. Even coming back to the UK from a year and a half ago, it's got so much better in the shops. There's even alternatives for if you're, say you've ate meat all your life and you're just wanting to try out some vegan alternatives. There's so many mock meats out there that taste, from what I can remember, and my partner isn't vegan, he says they don't taste much different to meat products that are out there. So there is so much to choose from, and just try them out. Like, even if you're not vegan, just like test them out, see if you like them. Linda McCartney's products are amazing, they've been around for a while. But yeah, there's Hex sausages that we now love, and there's just so many types of burgers. You don't have to get like the classic bean burgers or nut burgers, that kind of thing. There's so much out there that is kind of like a mock meat if you're missing those kind of meat flavors. Yeah, there's just so many foods out there high in protein that you can just get from purely whole foods. You end up really experimenting with cooking. I found that like 2 years ago, because I was buying new things in the shop, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, I'll buy these beans and I'll buy these lentils, and I was kind of experimenting with ingredients and seeing what I could make. And I really got into making curries, and Thai curries, Indian curries, stir fries, like all these kind of things. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting implementing new foods into your diet, and it kind of makes you shake yourself up and go, okay, let's try new foods, let's try new meals. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but there you go.
Probably the second most common question you get as a vegan, but what do you eat?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I love variety in my lunch and my dinners, but my breakfast is a staple and that will not change, and that is I have porridge oats every morning, and I have it with a teaspoon of peanut butter and banana. And I use plant-based milk. I normally use coconut, it's a cocoa, unsweetened it's called, or I use Alpro almond unsweetened. But yeah, there's loads of plant milks out there that you can use. Normally lunchtime, I tend to sometimes have a stir fry for lunch, or I make a soup or a salad. So recently, if it's a warmer day, I've been making a salad and just putting in loads of ingredients like beetroot, butter beans for my protein, tofu for my protein, red peppers. I did make a couple of weeks ago a really good vegan Caesar salad, which is on my Instagram, and that was a really nice Caesar dressing. And sometimes after my workout, I'll have a protein shake, which is bulk nutrients, mint chocolate, that's the protein I use. I think that's got like 22 grams per scoop, so that's a big chunk of protein for the day. Dinner time, it really ranges. I might have like a pasta dish, or I might have fajitas, a curry. I like making curries and, you know, putting in loads of veg and lentils. But burrito bowls are also a really good one.
Do you ever miss meat?
No. I never miss eating meat, but as I said, I was vegetarian before, so it's not like it's been a shock to my system, it's not like it's been very recent. I really haven't eaten meat properly since I was like 14. So yeah, I didn't like the taste of it before. I don't know why. Sometimes it's the texture, like I don't like the texture of mince. I think chicken's just very bland. I've just never really liked the taste of it, which maybe makes it easier for me to be vegan because I don't miss the taste of that. So yeah, it's not like on Gavin and Stacey where you see Pam and she's turned vegetarian and she's like trying to sneak a slice of ham in the fridge while people aren't looking. There's never a point that I'm like, oh, I'm just really wanting, like I'm really craving some ham or I'm really craving some chicken, oh, I'll just do it. Like, that's never happened. So I don't miss it. I think there's way too many alternatives out there that I just don't think about it. But that's not to say that if you were to turn vegan from eating meat all your life, you might have cravings. It's totally personal. You might miss it. I don't know. I just personally don't.
If you were going to eat fake meat, why don't you just eat the real thing?
So obviously the fake meats are like labeled, maybe they might say like no chicken. They might like label them as if they're like a meat product. Fake meats are so good, especially for the people that are used to eating meat and they want to try and slowly transition themselves to becoming vegan. So just every now and again, rather than putting in some fish cakes in their basket, they're gonna grab Linda McCartney's fish cakes. Which, funny story, I actually was in the shop once and I was chatting to Tim saying, oh, those fish cakes look really good, they look really nice. And this old lady, bless her, came along and went, oh, are they nice? I'll try them. She chucked them in her basket and then I thought, oh, does she know they're not real fish cakes? They're vegan ones, like they're Linda McCartney's ones, but hopefully she enjoyed them and they're a regular thing in her shopping basket. But yeah, like, I get off a tangent so much. How did I get from that to that? Anyway, they're a great option for people out there that aren't ready to be like, okay, I'm gonna eat whole foods, plant-based, all of the time, and just have loads of fruit and vegetables and loads of beans in my diet. That's not realistic probably for somebody who's ate meat, say, for 20 odd years. That's gonna be a big shock to the system, and if anything, I would rather somebody just implemented some mock meats into their diet and it was a slow process to becoming vegan, but it was more sustainable and they could do it for their lifestyle rather than it be very quick. But it depends on the person again. Some people, it might just be an overnight thing, click their fingers, the next day they want to become vegan completely. Other people, they need that slow process to start making little alterations as they go. Yeah, of course they taste like, I guess some of them do taste like meat from what I can remember, but they want to make them appealing to people. They don't want it to taste like if you've got a mushroom sausage, you don't want to just taste like you're eating a portobello mushroom, do you? Like, they want to put in the flavors there so it's appealing for people not only that are vegan, but for people that like the taste of meat. And a lot of vegans out there would admit they like the taste of meat, but they went vegan for different reasons. So you have to kind of remember that as well, that there's vegan alternatives out there that are mock meats, because there's many reasons why people go vegan. It can be for health reasons, it can be for animal side of it, it can be they didn't like the taste of meat like me. But I think most people fall into the other two categories, that it's for their health or that it's for the animal cruelty side or for the environment. So praise the mock meats and keep them coming, because I enjoy taste testing them.
This one.
Oh right, okay, here goes.
This one's turned into ask my girlfriend juicy questions that guys are too afraid to ask. Do you only date other vegans?
Ooh, getting a little bit of the love life in there. A little bit of relationship questions, why not? Chuck it in there. So, do I only date vegans? Would I only date vegans? Is that the question?
I don't know, you tell me.
No, I wouldn't. Obviously, Tim is not vegan, although he does eat probably vegan about 80% of the time, apart from the odd cookie. No, I would never be put off if someone was like, oh, by the way, I'm not vegan. I wouldn't be then like, okay, I'm not gonna date you. Like, that's just not my opinion on it. But at the same time, it is nice that Tim eats vegan a big portion of the time because it makes it easier because you can then cook the same meals together. One thing that would turn me off is if someone had very strict opinions on veganism. If they were like, you know, very forthcoming with their opinions, they're like, yeah, I don't think you should do that, or they didn't like veganism, or they didn't support my life choice, then that would be a problem and I wouldn't want to date them. But no, I wouldn't be opposed to dating someone that wasn't vegan at all.
Why aren't you skinny?
So this question I only wanted to answer because I think a lot of people think if they go vegan, they'll suddenly lose loads of weight and they'll be really healthy, and like there's kind of that idea behind it, the veganism, oh, you eat loads of fruit and vegetables then, like you are gonna lose loads of weight. No. Not necessarily. If you turn vegan and it's because you want to lose weight, that's the wrong reason to do it. If you turn vegan and you lose weight, well, fine, but not necessarily you're definitely going to lose weight. There's plenty of vegan junk food out there, believe me. It's just about having a good balance, and there's not healthy or not healthy foods. That's not a thing. It's just about having a nice balance of food that makes you feel good, and yeah.
Would you make your kids be vegan?
So would I make my kids be vegan? Yes. In short, yes, I would. I remember reading a lot of like different Facebook pages that I follow and people kind of asking their opinions on this, and it's like, do you make your child vegan since it's technically not their choice until they're old enough to make that choice? People saying, oh, like, are you sure you should be vegan if you're pregnant? Like, is that definitely healthy? Hell yes, it's healthy. Like, no, it doesn't, just because if you became pregnant, no way do you need to then be like, okay, I'm gonna eat meat now. No, if that's something you've been doing for the last few years and you're feeling healthy, if you've had blood tests done, your iron levels and your B12, all of that is at an optimum height, by all means, carry on with what food diet you were doing before if you become pregnant, of course. I don't think there's any reason why you would need to go back to eating meat to make it healthy for your baby. That's my opinion, obviously. So, and then having a child, I think it's a difficult one. I did used to think actually at the start of being vegan, I thought no, I probably wouldn't make the child eat vegan, but I think because that's what I buy in a weekly shop, I think I would just carry on with that routine. And then when the child got to an age that they can make a decision for themselves, then they can make a decision if they want to eat fish or they want to eat any dairy or that kind of thing. But obviously children are very influenced by what's around them. So if they're gonna be eating plant-based till they're 4, say, or 5, the chances are they're probably not gonna then go, oh, I wanna eat meat every day of the week. They might wanna try it, and I think that's a good thing. They would be educated in the decisions into why I was vegan and explain why I didn't eat dairy and meat and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's their decision and it's their responsibility in what kind of diet they want to have from there on.
Last one. Are you a perfect vegan?
I touched on this before, but I don't know what a perfect vegan is. I'm guessing what somebody means by a perfect vegan is like the whole food side of stuff, so you eat only vegetables and fruit and very nutritious food and beans and pulses, and you don't eat anything that's processed, or you don't eat any mock meats. I think that is what the perfect vegan is. And then I guess obviously it's taking into account that you never buy anything that is tested on animals. You only buy from companies that you know there's been no animal cruelty within, and I guess that's what people class as the perfect vegan. So no, I don't think anybody out there is perfect vegan. Like food wise, I am completely vegan. There is never a time when I will eat anything that is not vegan. It's hard to buy from only companies that are completely vegan, because a lot of companies out there, they have products that are cruelty free, but they also have products that are not. And it's the same way with food manufacturers. They will manufacture food that is vegan in the same factory of food that is not vegan or that has dairy in it. So I'm not gonna then restrict myself to the point that I'm not gonna buy something just because it says may contain milk. All that means is, when it says may contain milk, is that in that factory there is products that had milk in them. If I was to restrict myself to that point, at the current state that everything is in, you would not be able to eat very much stuff. Because companies in the factories that everything's being made, they have many different product lines going through it. It's not just vegan factories. You'd have probably be quite restricted in what you could buy if you were only to shop from places that only had vegan products through their lines. But yeah, I don't buy any clothing that isn't vegan, and I try and support where I can, like vegan companies, like for example gym side of stuff. I have like BND bands, and that's a vegan resistance band. It's not got latex in it, and the owner is a vegan as well, Grace Beverly. So yeah, I try and support where I can, but obviously you have to remember that you can't get from everywhere, and sometimes vegan sources can be slightly more expensive, so just figuring out what is suitable for you. I try and be vegan, but I don't think anyone can be the perfect vegan, and I don't think that's even a thing, the perfect vegan. It's just about doing what is right for you, and it's kind of like a process. Like when I first went vegan, I didn't look into like makeup products and that kind of thing as much, and now I take that into account when I'm buying like skincare or makeup products. And there's actually a lot of skincare brands out there that are so affordable that are completely cruelty free. For example, the whole of Superdrug as a store in the UK is completely, Superdrug's own products are completely cruelty free, not tested on animals or anything like that. So I mean, and that's very affordable. So it is available to us now to be able to buy cruelty free, not tested on animals products and not have to pay crazy amounts of money. So yeah, I think it's a lifestyle, but it's a slow process, and it's getting used to finding your feet, what kind of things you can do at the moment, and then a couple of years down the line you might implement different parts into your lifestyle that makes you a little bit more aware of veganism. But yeah, I think I would never advocate to somebody to turn vegan and just do it, because it has to be within you, something that you want to do and something that you have good reason behind wanting to do it, whether that be for your health, for the environment, for the animal cruelty side of it, all these kind of things. So I don't think ever persuading somebody around me, you've got to become vegan, is healthy. And people probably disagree. Like, I'm sure there's lots of people out there that show people like vegan documentaries, like Cowspiracy, those kind of things that are all on Netflix, and obviously the kind of more recent one was the Game Changers. That made a lot of people start rethinking their diet as how it was actually, veganism was maybe supporting athletes and this kind of thing. Obviously all of these documentaries tend to only show one side, and some of them do have scientific evidence to back them up, but I would never push that on someone as, look, this is what happened in this documentary, this is why you need to be vegan. That's not going to work for them. They might do it for a very short period of time, and then it's just going to become something that they don't enjoy. I don't think showing people the animal cruelty side of stuff is beneficial. I personally wouldn't do that. I personally don't watch those documentaries. I watch the Game Changers, but I don't watch any of the animal cruelty documentaries because I don't want to. I don't think it's nice viewing for anybody to watch, and I don't think you should try and shock someone into becoming vegan. It's just not a nice route to go about it. And if veganism is about being happy and healthy and encouraging all things positive and like a nice community, that kind of idea, and doing that isn't a positive aspect whatsoever. So yeah, that is my ramble. Hope you guys enjoyed, but thank you for watching this video today. Nice little chatty video on veganism. And yeah, hopefully it answers some of your questions, whether you're vegan and you just wanted to hear my opinions, or you're thinking about turning vegan, or you're a meat eater and you just wanted to see what I had to say. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button, it supports my channel, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.